am saying is, from my experience, the people that set their goals higher, the people that strive to make themselves the best version of themselves, and that doesn't always mean wealthy, are the people that are the happiest.
But I believe the great is still yet to come. I won't stop fighting, man, until I'm done.
Hello, welcome to the 14th episode of the Breakfast Ball. We've officially doubled mediocrity.
Yes.
So the story I've told now 2 or 3 times is that the average podcast lasts about 7 episodes. So this is 14. So take that mediocrity. How about that? And on a good note, we got total views of almost 50,000 total views. So we really appreciate it. And if you like what we're doing, please click that subscribe button. With that said, I am Bob Cardia, the host of the Breakfast Ball. To my far left, your far right, the dashing Richie Stoltz. And you have to put the dashing in there. And then in the middle, our latest addition, the former team captain at Rutgers Camden, DMG, David Gibson. So, welcome, guys. Good morning.
Yeah,
Thanks for having us. Yeah.
It's funny. We were saying earlier we had a host or a guest the other day, and we used to structure these heavily. We don't structure these as heavily as we used to. We take a topic because, as it turns out, I'm deadly at cocktail parties. I don't shut up. So if need be, I'll just ramble. No, I know, right?
No.
I'll just ramble on forever. Yeah. So anyway, with that said, those of you know me know I'm a big fan of Shark Tank. So while I'm working out, I must have seen, getting pretty close to every episode. So Mr. Wonderful, who, for those of you who don't know, is really not all that wonderful. He can be mean, but he said to one of the people on that show that, you know what, happiness can't buy money. And everybody laughed, like the panel laughed, Mark Cuban laughed. But you know what? Harvard did a study on money can't buy happiness, right? And guess what? It can't. But with that said, it turns out that the people that have the most money are typically the happiest. So
in some cases.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
Typically, like there are
Yeah.
plenty of
Little bunker.
yes, there are plenty of rich, unhappy people. I'll give you that for sure.
I've worked at enough golf courses to find that one out.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. So, yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
I know. Some country club people are generally not. Yeah. Anyway, well, that'll be a story for another, like an outtake or a blooper story. But yes, true. So, we did a short the other day, and you and I discussed that also. It was, do what makes you happy, and I happen to think that's some of the worst advice ever given because, like I said, I like bourbon, I like red meat, like cigars. Like most of the things I'd like that make me happy would kill me within a year. So somehow that just didn't seem to resonate with me. Now, as David said, people view happiness differently. I mean, I get that. I'm not saying I want you to be unhappy. But what I am saying is, from my experience, the people that set their goals higher, the people that strive to make themselves the best version of themselves, and that doesn't always mean wealthy, are the people that are the happiest. So what I did the one year, I don't even know where I got it from. I stole it from another program somewhere. But I had 12 number 1 high school players on our team at Rutgers. And I said, each week, one player has to get up and say, what would making the national championships mean to you? And what are you prepared to do to get there? And to me, that was a way of goal setting. That was a way of getting people to focus. Because we had Spencer Broad on not too long ago. And he was talking about specific, focus, staying in the present. So I think goal setting is a way to do it, or a form of, I guess, meditation and whatnot. So I guess I'll throw it to the dashing Richie Stoltz first. You would agree, right? I mean, you can't be happy if you're not at least trying to achieve some kind of mental clarity and on what you want to do. So again, and we didn't discuss this beforehand, folks. So I'm just throwing this stuff out there as I go. What to you, like what mentally do you need to do to get yourself in your zone to make you, I guess, on the hierarchy of being happy, whether it be sports, personal, you tell me.
So, for me to be happy, I want to see some sort of success. Now, obviously, there's other things in happiness, but we're going to talk success here. And the best way for me to get to that is to set the priorities. Set my priorities right. And we talked about it a little bit, 2 weeks ago, I think, where I talked about prioritizing, what I have to get done opposed to what I want to do.
Yeah.
And one of those being, go hang out with Bob and watch the Peabody's Wayback Machine.
Yes.
Live in concert.
Gordon, we know you're watching, so yes. We're roadies, yes.
Or going home and editing, or trying to get enough sleep, because I do not get enough sleep at all.
Yeah, that's a commonality between you and I, man. I just
text me at 3 in the morning and I respond right back.
Right,
Oh, brother.
I know.
All three of us respond.
Right.
Yeah.
And there was a woman I was talking to there for a while, and I told her that I texted you guys at 3 o'clock in the morning, and she's like, you really shouldn't do that, because like if my boss texts me at 3 o'clock in the morning, I'll be unhappy. I'm like, they're up.
Yeah.
We're up. That's what we do. I mean, there's no way you get. I mean, that's just me. You get anywhere in life just being complacent. So, all right. So DMG, let's throw this to you. In your own personal experience, what gives you the most focus? Like, what is your pre-shot routine of life that brings you happiness?
I guess, especially after talking meditation and stuff, just staying present. I find that when I start thinking back on past things, it's detrimental. I start overthinking things. Why did I do this? Why did I do that? And it's already in the past. It already happened, man. Can't worry about that.
They always say the windshield's bigger than the rear view for a reason.
Oh, I know. Yeah,
Yep.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's I love that.
I've never heard that one.
I don't know
That's
who
good.
said that. I said
It's like a Les Brown thing.
Richie's
Yeah,
old.
right. As far as I know, Richie said it. Yeah. I saw that somewhere. That's so true, though. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I was also thinking, like, people's definition of happiness is different, but that short-term happiness is way different than the long-term happiness, right? So,
Yeah. Yeah, well,
Yes.
I call short-term instant gratification.
Yeah.
Which that is, I guess, more of the bourbon and cigar type
Yes.
mentality. Like
Yes.
that's instant gratification. But you're correct. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
if you
sorry.
stay up late, you have drinks, you're happy that night. Next morning, you got to wake
Depends
up.
on how the evening ends up, but yeah.
The next morning you don't feel too good.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, I gotta live. Yeah, never mind. She's gonna make fun of me.
PG podcast.
Yes.
Oh, they don't make fun of you in front of you.
No. That's right. That's what from Caddyshack. Yeah. As far as you know. But yeah, so it's when we talk about stuff like this, I love going off the path a little bit, because when Spencer was on the show, we talked about pre-shot routine is a form of meditation, and by the way, thank you for the people that comment on the shorts that are productive comments, and
Yeah.
somebody says, hey, being happy is the key, and I guess spiritually, I guess people that find God can generally find happiness and whatnot. But again, that is, you're saying, I think what we're saying, it's, I had actually breakfast with the pastor of my church yesterday. And honestly, I had taken a little bit of time off going to church, in a bunch of reasons for it, and we were discussing it. But what came up with him was meet somebody where they are.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm back to a point in my life where it felt good to be back there. And I'm not a Bible thumping person by nature, although I'm trying to. You ever read the Bible?
I am currently, actually.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
yeah.
I just
I
started. Some of those words are tough.
Right.
The names?
Well,
To
no,
be honest.
let me tell you what. Somebody told me you
It's
should
on,
read
but
the.
we're working on
you
it.
should read the New Testament first, and I probably believe that because I've read the first 3 books, some in the 4th book of the Old Testament. You know what, folks? Like I'm glad I'm reading it, but it's just some of it's like cray. It's like if you have an affair with someone else's, wife, you owe them 3 goats and a chicken and like a gift card to Wawa. It's tough. It's a tough read. But anyway, with that said, you can reach happiness spiritually. It's not always about money. So when I say, happiness can't buy money, money is in your own terms. So when you're doing, commenting, I hear you. I do. But I think being focused on a goal, like we talked about in the one podcast, most people, don't fail because they set their goals for the stratosphere. They fail because they set their goals for mediocrity, and they typically get there. So let's talk about this. Richie, 2024, we're only into February. Give me your biggest goal for 2024.
I want to qualify into an event in one of the professional events. So whether that's a Korn Ferry Tour qualifier, a PGA Tour qualifier, or I'll even say, win a mini tour event.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Anything that gets me closer to where I want to be in terms of playing golf.
Mm-hmm.
I want to make sure that, I keep moving forward, because if you look at my scores over the past couple years, they're slowly starting to get better. And I'm not where I want to be by any means. I'm just talking tournament scores specifically. Mm-hmm. I'm not by any means where I want to be, but I want to get over that hump.
Yep.
Because I know me specifically, the second I get over that hump, you ain't stopping
break the
me.
seal. It's like the guy that broke the 4-minute mile.
Yeah.
They said it was physically, Roger Bannister did it. They said it was impossible to do. And then once he did it, like everybody did it.
Yeah.
You're breaking the seal. So
it's a cool story, by the way.
Yeah, it's a great story. I love stories like that. So, by the way, congratulations to DMG. I forgot to mention this. DMG has passed his opening level of certification in the road to being a fully certified golf teaching professional. So,
Woo-hoo.
Congratulations, DMG. He'll be teaching with us starting actually now.
Yeah.
So, question to you, David. So let's go. What would be your one single biggest goal for 2024?
Yeah, so based off what you said, after taking the classes and reading more golf books and really learning about golf instruction, the swing, and there's so much to do with it, I think that's my goal. 2024, I want to become a master and read, if I want to quantify it, read at least 3 golf instruction books or something like to quantify it for me.
That's awesome.
Go ahead. I thought you were going to go in another direction. I was going to pull you back to specifics, and then you saved yourself.
Okay,
so thank you.
Quantified it, yeah. Because saying you're just to become a master, that's you're right.
Yeah,
That's,
I thought you were gonna say I want to learn more about the golf swing, and I was gonna be like, David, bring it back to something specific, and then you did, so that was good. Good.
I think the statistic is, and again, I'm read, watch, do I believe the statistic is, and and if it's wrong, it's close. If you read 5 books a year in a specific topic, and you do that for 5 years. At the end of the 5 years, you'll be in the top 10% of knowledge of that particular field. So, I prescribe to that because I read stuff all the time. People give me books all the time, and the way I read books is I take book and I throw it in a pile, and the pile stacks up. And every time I finish one book, I pick up the next one. So, like, one book could be, I think the next book on my pile is Roger Daltrey, the lead singer of The Who. That was a book, but then the book before that was, Alan Greenspan when he was, the chairman of the Fed. Now, the book I'm reading right now is Malcolm Gladwell's Blink. So I soak in a lot of information, and then on the side I'll Golf Digest it, or I'll watch videos and whatnot. But yeah, I like it. Specific. 3 books a year is an admirable goal. So money cannot buy happiness, which is a fascinating thing. People like us are, I think, different. Like, what I call us the ready, fire, aim type of people. At least I'm nuts that way. I think if anything that you want to achieve in life, if it's worth achieving, you need to give it your best effort. How about this when Richie, right, we're teaching students, somebody says, I don't really care. I just play golf to enjoy it. And I always wonder about that one because, forgive my language, folks, but I don't enjoy anything I suck at. I'm now playing, I record songs, and I'm playing songs and whatnot. I try to devote at least 20, 30 minutes every day to banging on the guitar. If I want to be good at something, then I don't see the point of ever doing anything just to do it. So I guess there are people, back to what we were saying about the podcast, like they or the short. Happiness is a subjective thing, but
Just a point real quick.
yeah, please.
Me, if I do something, like, sure, I want to enjoy it, but, like, I enjoy being good at it.
Yeah,
So,
much more enjoyable.
yeah,
right?
it's much more enjoyable.
Yes.
I like winning.
You're right.
Competitive, yeah.
Some say I'm competitive.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Sorry to my family.
I know.
No,
I definitely know.
I used to, and forgive me, folks, but I used to say it all the time. I want the players on my team that would push grandma down the stairs to win. Like that's like, I always keep
Yeah, sorry,
12.
Grandma.
Where up until before COVID, we always had 12 number one players on our roster at all times, and you only need 5. And why did I do that? I could tell you why I did that, because the first time we were ever really, really good, we only had 5 really good players, and then I picked up a 6th. Actually, I'm going to tell this story because it's one of my favorite stories. I had 5 really good players, and I brought in another one, a highly recruited kid. His dad's a PGA golf pro. And he came in and he underperformed. He just, for one reason or another, he just wasn't playing up to his capability. And then I had one of my best players. He showed up to practice one day, and he was just off. He was just being counterproductive to what my goals were. And I pulled him aside, and it wasn't the greatest conversation. And I said, look, this is going to be the attitude. I'm going to sit you for the next tournament. And I brought in the kid who had underperformed all year. And in the very next tournament we played in, I believe he shot 70. And he won the tournament, like 2 under. And then I played him in the next tournament, and he shot like 71 and came in first or second again. I'll tell you what, that lit a fire under the other guy like you wouldn't flip and believe. That guy came back with a vengeance and turned out to be one of the best players in our program. At that point, that's when I decided, you know what, competition is a good thing. Okay, yeah. I'm going to put, actually at the peak of, and I think both of you were there. I think you were definitely still there. We had an A team and a B team.
Yeah. Twice
in the span of 2 years, the B team beat the A team. Our B team could beat 90% of the teams in the country at one point. And that, let me tell you what, competition keeps people on their toes. And that's, again, competitive. Yeah.
It kept everyone's spot in jeopardy.
Yes,
nobody,
I love that.
Nobody, in a way, felt safe on that team. It was, if you started playing bad, guess what? You're out.
You're out.
Number 6 guy's moving up, and you're on the B team now. And you wanted to stay on that A team because you got to play in more tournaments. Mm-hmm. But man, you got the boot.
Were
if
you on the
weren't
team at that
playing
point?
I don't
know.
My freshman year, I think we still had an A and a B, but it was smaller team.
You called
at
the
that
tail
point.
end of it.
Yeah,
you called the
we
tail
saw
end.
Jaden and all of them, but
yeah. Gotta catch up with those guys for sure. Maybe we'll have an alumni golf tournament at some point.
that'd be cool.
That'd be nice. But back, now that David's on board with us, there's a national championship, World Teachers Cup, that I think the 3 of us could probably go play in. I think that would be almost a worthwhile goal.
Yeah.
It's typically in Las Vegas every year.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind heading out down there to play. I mean, I don't play like I used to, but just to we can shake Richie's hand when he wins.
Yeah.
But good. Anyway, meditation, pre-shot routine, all stuff that we had talked about, goal setting, all stuff. I guess the ultimate, for all of us is specifics. I think to be happy, yes, money can't buy happiness, happiness can't buy money, but if you really, really want to be happy, I think you need to set a specific purpose to your life. Yeah. And it doesn't have to be monetary. I think we discussed it, and David said something earlier, which I thought, I tell guys all the time, you can't change anything that happened 10 seconds ago.
Yeah.
So why bother? And that's something in my own life, trust me, because I'm naturally a fixer by nature. Like thinking about what I could have done differently, or worrying about someone or something, how you can help them or improve their lives. Ultimately, you need to set your goal on, bang the table. You need to set your goal on where you want to be.
Yeah.
And like Tony Robbins said, a massive change in a direction with a goal is how you get stuff done, accomplished.
Yeah, I've never seen you get mad at someone for hitting a bad shot, but when they walk up and they one-handed smack it, like they don't even think about the shot, that's when you're like, dude, what are you doing?
Yeah, right. Yeah, I guess what? Everyone's going to fail. you're going to failure with success. If
Yeah.
you had a crappy shot, I'm okay with that if you tried. I'm not okay with a 1 foot putt and you go backhand it and you hockey
Yeah.
puck it back and forth. Because that's the thing with the high school kids. They come in like they're Let me just tell you what, high school kids sometimes they cheat. They
No.
Yes. They come in, they miss a 1 foot putt, like or they go tap it in. I'm like, I'll pull you aside. You said,
Yeah.
make sure you count that stroke. And if someone gets upset with me, I don't care. Like that. The golf is getting the ball in the hole in the least amount of strokes. The only person you're cheating is yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I would have made that. Well, then you should.
Why didn't you?
Yeah, right. Right. Or you had a kid this past year we played our home tournament. He like missed a 1 footer and he scooped it up and put it
Yeah.
in his bag. And David got all upset. David's like, you had to put that out. You got to put it down and take a penalty.
He's like, what
And-
do you mean? I'm like, you just picked your ball up.
Right. So he came to me. I'm like, yeah, guess what? You're disqualified. And
Yeah.
then I explained it to his coach, and his coach is like, yeah, he's disqualified. Like a degree of accountability.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So I guess today's primary focus was, yes, happiness can't buy you money, but if you want to get anywhere in this world, you need to set your goals. You need, and happiness doesn't have to be money, but whether it's spiritually, relationship, money, if you want to be happy, set your goals. Is that, I think that's. I think that's the genesis of or the beginning of what we believe.
Yes.
Um,
For sure.
I think we'll visit it down the road more because I want to talk more about specific goal setting. But anyway, thank you for joining the Breakfast Ball today. Again, I'm Bob Cartier.
The dashing Richie Stoltz.
DMG.
DMG.
I like it. It's
I know-
sticking.
I know, right? I think it was like a rap song about that. Anyway, if you like what we're doing, folks, please, by all means, subscribe to the podcast. We're looking to grow. We've been growing at 10% a week now for a bunch of weeks, and if we can keep that up, world domination.
Yes. For sure.
For sure.
For sure.
All right. Be good, folks. Have a good one.
Glass of bourbon, ha ha. My bourbon, ha ha. My bourbon, ha ha. Alcohol. Because no great story ever started with, I'll have a salad.